Boy, what a gap in that spark plug. Well, after I put up a couple videos over the last days, you know what a counter space move is, right? Yeah, all that stuff shows up again right over the house. They're highly predictable, right? All I have to do is start sharing the absolute truth, and I get a response. And I figure that most of us know why they hate us. That's actually a basic logic test question about balance. Because they're held captive by something that doesn't love them, that they see in the mirror. Okay, that's the truth. Because when I go out here, just like I was mentioned, Elijah's a local native here. He ran me down to Hilo. We had a long conversation. We talked about positive energy. And I said, have you noticed around Lapahoihoi the frequency going up? It's a little more electric, going in the other direction, a crystal spiral, like a rainbow, the very first rainbow. And he said, yeah, I have. So you know what happens when you're turning the spiral to the right as a crystal spiral? Godspeed, God's seed. It's turning to the right, and that's called cranking up the motor. And when you're cranking up the motor to experience being more electric, and they want to be more magnetic, what happens? They show up in force. Right? Well, all their heavy metal crap. The biofilm. Change the tunes, change the sound in your airway. So you got to clear your airway. So you're crystal clear. Crystal clear sounding motherboard. The mother arc, the 13th starburst. Yeah. So I went out and I declared, they're out there. So I communicated directly to them. Go home and be with your families. Honor cosmic law. I declared this island, the Big Island of Hawaii, a healing sanctuary. Because the God force that lives in my heart that goes on forever is the one I serve. So when I put my bare feet on the ground and I put both my hands and declare this a healing sanctuary and establish cosmic law on this island, what do you think their response is? So when the speed is going in the right direction rather than the other direction, what happens? The frequency goes up. Now the ion is experiencing more electric. They want to be more magnetic. They don't like that. And that's called a counter space move. They want to keep compressing their nucleotides until they implode. That's your red and black dragons. Right? They don't want to experience being more electric. They don't want to experience higher octaves. They don't want to experience higher frequency bands. They don't want to experience a higher radio set. They don't want to experience cosmic law. That's why I love them no matter what. No matter what. Cosmic law is cosmic law. It is not a financial instrument based on any planetary or galactic resources. God is an eternal spirit, which is what love is, which is what the law is. That's cosmic law, which is restoration of cosmic balance. The law of spheres, which is what love is. The first sphere, the first cell, the first atom. So that's just sharing a little bit of an update because that's the nature of what they do, which is not a natural crystal spiral. They refuse to honor cosmic law. So we already know the future result of that, and that's a known. That's knowing the crystal spiral from the other one that isn't. The one that doesn't go on forever. I know. That's why I cried for him for 4 days. I cried this morning. Why? Because we already know what they're going to do. That's a great thing about being a free spirit, an eternal free spirit. You're on fire. Fire to create, manifest. Now you're seeing who you are. Now you're seeing the face of God in your own mirror, because that's the one I serve. which means I don't need a cell phone or a screen in order to see what I am. I know what I am. I've always known what I am. And that is an eternal gift. And that is an eternal blessing. That's what healing is. Equally sharing is equally healing. I'm healing you, I'm healing me. It's like I shared with Elijah. See, and he loved this. He smiled. So simple, huh? I know. I was sharing with him having been with a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts. Those that still suffer. Those that fell. Okay? I know what it's like to fall. I've been there. And I recovered. So I told him that it used to be my family, my friends wrote me off. That's gone. That's a non-repairable. Just like some folks that I knew, like Lemurian Light, that said, that's a red tag. That's red pulse wave. You can't do anything with that. Wrong. How do I know that? Because I experienced the result in my own mirror. That's how I know. Okay? And it's on the permanent records. It's there. God's Source knows. That's the one that lives in my heart. That's how it happened, actually. That's called reversing a spiral. That's called experiencing the crystal spiral in me. She was experiencing in her heart. Wow. You mean to tell me at God's speed she was experiencing God's speed, the crystal spiral? That's right. Now she wants to experience that crystal spiral forever. Because she was experiencing that in me, and she was experiencing that in her. Wow. Really? Yeah. Remember that old series with Mission Impossible? Remember the little video that lady did about a vote was being taken, risk factors, choosing to go into a trap, like a mouse trap, like a bear trap, like when a bear is out in the woods and gets a trap and there isn't anybody else around and the bear can't get out of that trap. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I can't get out. I can't get myself out of this hole. We're coming to get you. That's right. So yeah, a vote was taken. She was absolutely right about that. As a matter of fact, I already knew that when I got over to the Big Island in 17, 18, and then 19. And I acknowledged that. I got the transmission. And I remember it. That's right. And I didn't even know the name Ashiana. And I didn't even know any of those people that were putting a lot of those mathematical maps, the spin ratios of those maps that were brought out in a lot of those workshops. And then one of those, a very little short blurb, right? And again, we're back to mathematical timing. Out of all the videos that were ever done to all those workshops, I did not watch very many. I didn't need to. I only watched mathematically at high precision timing, only the ones that God's Source had laid out in divine right sequences, which is a firing order, divine right timing, and divine right balance. If I wasn't supposed to experience it, what she communicated, I wouldn't have experienced it, would I? Nope. Why? Because it's not necessary. So I could correlate, like cross-indexing a library of permanent records of something that I already knew, that she echoed in the future, even though there isn't any time, that I validated within my own records. What I knew. Because I remembered me. I remembered having been there to cast a vote. I'm a volunteer. I've shared this before. I could have left back in 2018. And I stayed. There was somebody in the tribes a number of years ago and said, yeah, you want to work on getting out of here. I could have done that, but I'm still here. You know why I'm still here? Because you're still here. We know what abandonment issues with a child is, right? You know, a parent is not going to leave a child, right? Like a parent directory, like the God Source directory, the Cosmic directory, the Cosmic Reset directory, something along those lines of communication. And so yeah, spinning in the right direction, raising the frequency. And what happens when you're raising the frequency? The island is healing. This is a very powerful rock to tap into when you're a sponge. Absorb all that power in this rock. But it's going in another direction, the right direction. And you know what happens when that starts to happen on this rock, the largest DNA shield? There are other rainbows here on this island. I am not the only one here. Remember I shared that a while back when I met a couple of them in Pahoa? One of the most beautiful, that word I use in English is called precious. Precious moments. You can feel the nurturing kind of energy in a spirit like that. So what it really is a scan. It's a read of how powerful their light is. So it's like an acknowledgement of a very first rainbow. You're here. Yeah. The rainbows are on this island. And so we all know why that is. The aurora rays, the first rays of light, the first rainbow, the very first shine, Kundo rays, God's light, source light, the eternal sun, the eternal spirit, eternal fire, eternal love. That's why we're here. Restoring cosmic law is restoring the love of music. That's what we play. Musical waves that are in equal balance to experience zero. No sound. Have a beautiful evening.